By the way, I'm 1-up. It's kinda like being stabbed by a sword. Right now Heihachi is just crazy. Like Yoshimitsu, god damn it! And when you ignore the little fact that I absolutely cannot play fighting games, I unlocked an old man. A MILF. Why did he make the King of Fire Face tournament? I could not find the reason. Whee! Who the fuck was faking a fight? Oh, I'm gonna medium punch this guy. Also, the game doesn't say good morning. This game is ugly. A slightly more realistic fighting game. Yes, I do hate it here. Symphonies are shorter, but we haven't found any. Martial law. Oh, wait, not that one. Don't stick your dick on crazy! There is more Tekken content on this video than there is Tekken content in Tekken. I'll be the one to end the Mishimas. Ah, finally season 1 is done. Well Gaia, this is it. We're officially on season 2. You know what that means, right? First of all, we are updating the visuals. And second, we'll talk about the red Italian plumber. Oh yeah, we're doing it. Sup everybody? How y'all doing? The second half of the 90s and the first half of the 2000s were a great time for gaming. I say that a lot, just as Selena. Of course I say that as someone who wasn't there to experience firsthand, which is a little bit of a regret of mine because if I want to experience this generation now, I need to meet up with some shady guy from eBay. Gaia, don't say the E word. Gaia, don't! Wait, how are they here? We're in the buttfuck middle of the ocean, 30 kilometers from the coast of New Zealand. I do have some experience with the 5th generation because of my hand-me-down PS1, but that's not really experiencing it, it's more like a demo. Plus my PS1 exploded. Now the 6th, now that's the generation I grew up with. As in, I was growing up while it was happening, I didn't play anything. But I have enough cognition to understand video games, and that I wanted them. And at the top of the list was the GameCube, because of course it was a GameCube. If you were a kid back in the day, the first video game experience you would have is probably Mario. And you're telling me I get to play as Mario's fuck-ass brother while he hunts ghosts? This is the machine of my dreams! I will die defending the GameCube to the point of people who think I had one. Gaia, are you coming with me in this fight? Mario Golf. Oh wow, that worked. I was just joking with that because, let me remind you, Pikmin. By the time Gaia and I were old enough to articulate what the fuck was a GameCube to our parents, we got a plug and play that was filled to the brim with NES ROM hacks, which also means I grew up in the 2000s playing PS1 games and NES games. Oh wow, no wonder I feel like an old man. And then the Wii came out and all the senior citizens wanted Wii bowling. Gaia, I'm telling you, next time the Sky departs, I'm throwing you off. Of course, I could have played GameCube games on my Wii. The problem is the GameCube is a fuckface of a console that sold very poorly. Try find the games for it on 2009. And to play GameCube games on the Wii is... Gaia, give me a word. No, Selena, give me a word. No, hold on. Axel, be a mate, help us out real quick. Can I eat that? Well, those were 2 useless pages of intro. Why not talk about it? Well, I think it's funny to see Gaia angry at the absurdly long audio files I give her, and to say that I always really wanted GameCube games. The number 1 on the list was actually Mario Kart Double Dash, because this is a me, this is my sister, and this is a game where you can have 2 cards on a single card. It's a dream come true. And the second place is a game we're talking about today, Super Mario Sunshine. I've always wanted to play Mario Sunshine, I've always wanted to talk about Mario Sunshine on the channel. However, the plan was never to talk about it this early. I wasn't going to put it on the season planning. Wait, guys, did we explain to people how the seasons work? Well, I think it's funnier if I don't explain. Ow! Oi, champ, you wanna go? Every season here on the channel is composed of 6 videos. Original plan was to be 12, but we then realized the whole audience would be dead before I got to episode 10. Although season 1 was the exception because, well, Gravity Rush was almost finished, I really needed to put Tekken in. I personally wanted to scream about Zelda, and Gaia pointed a gun at me after I suggested getting rid of Shadow of the Colossus, so that's why 7. Everything you need to know is that a couple of series will be repeated every season. So if I talk about Gaia's quest to fuck... Oh, too soon? Yeah, okay, I'm changing the name, If I talk about Amy's adventure to deck an idol in the face, next season I will have to talk about Amy's adventure to deck an idol in the face 2, the Revenge Incident. By being incredibly hot and stupid. Originally, the only 2 seasons I had planned to put on the season list was Zelda and Tekken, but... Oh no, wait, I had a dumb idea. It was not by my hand that we are talking about a 3D Mario today. It was called here by Gay. So everybody thank my fuckface of a sister. She is the reason we are talking about Mario Sunshine today. Wait, you did what? This also means that between this season and the next one I need to find a Mario Galaxy. Weird how we don't have Mario Galaxy, huh? Considering the Wii library and all. So the background of these 2 galaxies over, let's talk about the background of this fuck. Do we talk about Mario 128? Mario 128 is our tech demo of 128 Marios on a floating platform. Crikey, that's a bloody king card. Don't confuse this Mario 128 with the other Mario 128. The first one was a tentative sequel to Mario 64 on the N64. Yeah, no shit. It didn't happen. This one is a tech demo on the GameCube. It also didn't happen. As the name implies, you have 128 Marios walking around on a platform. What did that prove? I don't know. Maybe that you can put 130 Marios on a platform? But I never tried to know. Gaia, Selena, I know what we are doing tomorrow. Yamato kept lying about it, saying that it wasn't just a tech demo, but consider what I just said, and here's the options of what happened next. 128 ideas went all over the place, including but not limited to Gaia's sweet summer child, Pikmin. Gaia, I'm sorry for derailing the video all the time like this, but how in God's name are you a Pikmin fan? You are the second most anxious person I know. How are you this much fan of an RTS with permadeath? Wow, what are you? Me? Sick line, by the way. 128 name comes from... Hold on, let me check. Yep, 64 times 2, which was pretty much what people were expecting from the sequel. Take Mario 64 times 2. This, however, is Nintendo we are talking about. Number 1 champion of ain't no way we are doing the normal thing because we are stubborn. For better or for worst, we are getting a surprise. I'm not sure how much of 128 went into Mario Sunshine, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't much. Oh, the one with the giant flaming egg, huh? I really like this video. It shows some interesting stuff, like people. Also, I'm pretty sure that giant egg is still on the game's file somewhere. But now to the game that we actually got, one whole last year after the GameCube came out. I think everyone knows about this. The GameCube didn't release with the Mario game. I mean, it kinda did, but it kinda didn't. But to me the more interesting part is that not only this was the first time a console released without a Mario game, we never again got a Mario game as a launch game. Anyway, 2022, 3D Mario game on the GameCube, hooray! The story kicks off with Mario, Peach and Toadsworth on Peach's private jet. Since when the fuck does she has one of those? When suddenly they get a video about Delfino Island. What the fuck kind of corporate apocalypse board is this where a whole ass island can just shove a whole ass head inside of private jet? Well, it's not my fault, there's 2 whole asses! Anyhow, they got so impressed by the island that they decided to go on a vacation. Yeah, like this, all of a sudden, rich people are fucked up, am I right? Wait, they just decided to go on a vacation like this, they weren't going anywhere. Did Pete just wake up one day and think, man, I feel like fucking up the planet. I'm going to walk around my jet with no destination in mind, just go for a ride. But honestly, it's quite refreshing that the plot isn't just Bowser kidnaps Peach. Gaia, don't you dare spoil anything. The game is set in Delfino Island. I had to ask Axel what the fuck Delfino means, and I have the translation right here. It translates to from Fin. Okay, this means that the whole game will be themed around an island. I do not like the beaches. I also don't like the ocean. Fuck you. On top of me not liking beaches at all, there is another problem on top of this problem. I am not the biggest fan of a game having a theme like this. This is weird, completely a me problem, and it's never a deal breaker, But between something like Sunshine that is, well, an island, and something like Galaxy that has no real theme, I prefer Galaxy. And to add a little bit more, I also don't really love gimmicks. To be fair, gimmicks are a hit or a miss. It really depends on the gimmick itself. They can be something simple like break your wrist playing Mario Galaxy, why do you think I have a robotic hand? Or the Wii U, in general. But take one thing from me, kiddo, the world does not work on absolutes. Well, the only non-exception is that I am absolutely fabulous. I complained about Sunshine for a good 2 minutes. Selena, could you please be a darling and check on the time for me? Wait, really? Great, I'm ahead of schedule. The whole game is built around the island, and I like it. This is some of my favorite scenery ever. I don't know, it just... yeah, it fucking tickles my balls. We really need to find another way of saying that. Well, fuck it, we can just talk about this now. Finn Island is beautiful, it's gorgeous. If people could go here, you know this place would be overflowing with tourists, paying absurdly high prices. The kind of place where a rich mate would go on summer vacation, and when they tell you about it, you just go, oh wow, you rich bougie motherfucker. And then you go back to playing on his N64 because the only reason you hang around this guy is because he's rich and he has all the video games. Yes, I'm speaking from experience. And on the gimmick front, we have Flood, a water thing. Gaia, as our specialist in guns, what does Flood classified as? A water shooting thingamajig made by Professor E. Gadd of Luigi's Mansion fame. Flood had everything to be something I don't like in the game, and many people don't. I am not one of many people apparently. Flood is... oh, alright, that thing. So kill the giant piranha plate made out of... you know what, I don't wanna know actually. And with that you get more blood. Oh shit, I know I would have done it. Oh shit, the plot's the cops! Fuck! Gaia, they're trying to arrest me, I have every right in the world to fight back. Get me out of here, you plate-headed fox! Well, that's done with. Let's clean this place. Well, the sun doesn't work and there's magical evil goop all around. I think we need to do something, Gaia. I do have a heart, you know. Put a sock on it. Now gameplay. Mario 64 on a beach is what I would like to say, but the game is actually different. Well, we're still on the beach. I didn't have a chance to be a sexy plumber on the first episode, but now it's time to correct that mistake. Much like Mario 64, Sunshine has a hub world, where you can pick your course and your episode. After you complete an episode, you get a star, and you use those stars to unlock more levels, so you can progress through the game, aka it's a 3D Mario game, aka it's a collectathon. But unlike 64, the collectathon element here is... Gaia, give me a comparison. No, it's not that bad. No, it's not that good either. Oh yeah, that's good, that's good. Might as well mention Delfino Plaza. It's cool, it's great actually, it's amazing. Some might even say, it's beautiful. Is Peach's castle better? That's up for debate. Is it bigger? I'm not sure, but I think it is. Peach, how do you have a castle as big as a plaza? I like Delfino Plaza as a place. As a hub world, it's fine. There's a couple of secrets, there's some things you do here and there. And it's overall fine, but it's far from being Peach's castle. Going back to collecting, 64 gave you carte blanche for do whatever the fuck you wanted. The path you took from beginning to end was yours and yours only. The only thing you needed to do was fight Bowser. Sunshine is more linear. To get to the final level, you need to beat the Shadow Mario mission. And the Shadow Mario mission is always the 7th episode of every course. Okay everybody, just like we rehearsed. That is lame! We go from having no restrictions to pretty much being on a guided tour. Mario and Zelda swapped it back this generation. Because Mario was a linear game and Zelda was made to counter that. Come N64, Mario gave you the whole ass castle that you could explore however the fuck you wanted. Zelda started reeling you in a certain way a lot more. But this generation is the opposite again, because Sunshine is more linear, but Wind Waker gave you the whole ass ocean. Gaia, I'm not crazy! Regardless, Sunshine is more linear than 64. I don't really complain about linearity because I'm not a weak-ass motherfucker on the interwebs, but I will hold this against Sunshine. Part of the magic that 64 has is that you never made the same run twice. Your path to the end was decided only by you and, well, in my case, a Gaia. But it still was our decisions. We were screaming at each other as to what to do next. Although this is not a big problem on Sunshine, it does create a weird situation of, oh wow, I don't really want to play this again. And you also need to deal with the bullshit shines as well, but that's the story for later. But as a counter argument to myself, the linearity does create the situation where the missions are memorable. If you have finished Sunshine and I tell you something, for example, Pity Piranha Strikes Back, you remember that mission, don't you? And to add on that again, I feel like the missions are very interesting. This is a flaw the game has, but it's not the breaker flaw of the game. Mostly because this game does not have a breaking flaw. Have you seen this game? And I mean that literally. Look at this island. As a bird that does not care for graphics, this game has aged surprisingly well. Look at this water. It's beautiful water. This is the kind of water that makes you think, oh man, maybe the ocean isn't all that bad. It is, but it's good enough to trick you. And also just the fucking island. Fin Island is a beautiful and cool looking place. This is part of the reason why I don't care about the island aesthetic too much. And all the areas you visit on the game show up on the map as an actual location, driving home more the idea that this is a place. But no matter how beautiful the game is, no matter how cool the levels are, if playing it is a shame, you get hit by the shame hammer just like Blaze did when I caught her to idle hentai. Luckily, this is Mario, that should not be a problem. If you are a blue hedgehog, you should be scared. Mario controls just as greatly as he did on 64. Some might even say he controls even better, but how can you prove that? Oh Gaia, you truly are the brains of the team. Added to Mario's moveset is the giant funky thing on his back. Did you notice? This is Flood, and if you call it FLUDD, people probably don't like talking to you. Flood has 2 starting nozzles, with 2 nozzles you unlock later that work similar to power-ups. Situational as hell power-ups, but power-ups nonetheless. This is 3D Mario, bitch! Land of power-ups that only work when we want them to. Flood can shoot water, hover, rocket jump, and has a dash that I swear to God I only use it once. Hover is of course the one you will be using the most, and also part of the reason why I think this game is incredible to play. You add Flood on top of Mario's natural acrobatics, bada bing bada boom, pow, great platformer. It's simple as that, you get the hang of Italian man, you get the hang of a jetpack and have a blast. Once you understand a little bit of the techniques of this game, it opens up so much, well, kinda like 64. You decided to follow your predecessor in weird ways, huh? We did miss the long jump, something parallel universes, but you can't do a belly slide like my cousin Lorenzo, so it's not that much of a loss. Let's go back to levels because I have more things to talk about them. Bloody hell mate, they are big and full of stuff. You see, the curious thing is that they might not actually be bigger, but they feel like it. I will completely chuck this to being in more powerful hardware. 64 courses feel far from empty, but when you compare it to Sunshine, kinda feel like it. Every little part of every single stage feels like there is something for you to do, making the levels not only feel bigger, but also more memorable. 64 had 15 levels, and Sunshine only has 8. Technically 7 because Corona Mountain only has a boss and 8 red coins. But if you consider 8 red coins should be enough to qualify as a level, there you go, I found 2 more. I don't know if this was a A. Okay, instead of many levels, let's make bigger ones. Or B. Oh fuck, the game needs to come out tomorrow, we need to finish this, fuck it, make fewer levels. We still have 120 shines to find, but wait, Kat, did we talk about the shines? Shines prize, they are the stars of this game. We need to find them for plot reasons because somehow the sun's not working anymore. I mean, I think it is, the place just looks very cloudy, but collecting them is fun because the place finally starts to feel like an island once you do. Ew, there's 120 shines in the game, but only 7 courses. What does this mean? Translation? I can't read Italian. Oh, you're right. We have heaps of stars in each level. Wait, no, shines. It's the same shit! 10 whole shines per level, asterisk. How up in 4 more missions when compared to the last game. They of course make you do a little bit of everything. Fight a giant plant thing, kill a squid, ride a squid, go ghost busting, get super mad trying to fight a pineapple to the point where you just glitch the game, go gambling. Don't, I have a frying pan and we both lost count of how many there were this episode. However, a lot of these shines you can only get on the specific episode. Kind of a letdown in my absolutely correct opinion. If there's a shine you do not like, well, you can't skip it anymore. Sucks to be you. And if you decide to replay the game, you are doing the whole 7 missions again on the same order. Regardless, the missions are fun and the levels are fun. To the point where I want to talk about every single one of them. But it has less than 64, can't we really talk about them? Sucks to be you, I'm gonna. Well, since I don't want to go to Mad Bay again this week, let's make this quick. Bianco Hills is as much as a first level as you can get on an island, but it's lovely, and it's also weirdly big. The main set piece here I would say is the windmill, which is fun. Come on, look at that. What did 64 have at his first level set piece, huh? Oh, right. Yeah, sorry mate, he's taking this one. Rico Harbor is a port. The closest thing we have to a water level. Weirdly enough, Sunshine has a lot of water in the levels, but it doesn't have a water level. Did that just blow your mind, huh? The coolest part is the jet platformer thingamajig in the middle of the stage. This feels like it could be from a game show. Gelato Beach. Really like gelato, really hate beaches, so it's neutral. By itself, Gelato Beach doesn't have anything. A lot of the more interesting things like the giant caterpillar running around is locked behind a specific mission. For example, this of the unfriendly variety. Gaia, I don't like this guy, what should we do? Overall, Gelato Beach is unimpressive. What are you looking at me like that for? Guys, stop speaking in codes, what do you mean? Of course we have to talk about the infamous Sandbird, is what I would say, but we're gonna save that for later. Yes, Pina Park. I also like Pina Park, but it's also simplistic. Like Rico Harbor, you have the platform thingamajig, but you also have another platform thingamajig, and you can also fight giant turtles to help sunflowers. Weirdly enough, that's the second time in my life I've said that sentence. And of course, fight Shadow Mario in the Mecha Bowser. We forgot about Shadow Mario. Oops, my bad. But you can't be mad at me because I'm sexy. Part of the plot is that Mario got accused of crimes he did not commit. What crimes? Vandalism and stealing sunlight. Hence why the island is all dark and there's magical evil goop everywhere. But it was not Mario that committed those crimes. It was him! Shadow Mario! Look at them. I can't blame the painters for mixing them up. Yeah, me too. Anybody else wants to blame the painters? But as it turns out, Shadow Mario was none other than Bowser Jr. Not to be confused with Baby Bowser, not to be confused with the Koopalings, not to be confused with the Koopa Kids. Yes, those are all different. Wait, yeah, I'm sorry but I have to raise this question. Am I crazy or did the Super Mario Super Show refer to the Koopalings as Bowser Kids? I'm not sure about that, if this is a fake memory or something, but I need to ask other people. Oh right, Junior shows up, kidnaps Peach, claims that she is his mom, and flies away. But you know what that means? Fight the lizard, fight the lizard, fight the lizard, fight the lizard. No. So Junior flies away to Corona Mountain. We can't go there right now because plot? Don't know. And I don't care about Peach unless she's wielding a sword. So let's go to Sienna Beach. Much like the other beach level in this game, Sienna Beach has jack shit to do, especially for the first level. But right after that, a whole ass hotel comes from the ground. Wow! Most of the shines and interesting stuff to do on this place is on the hotel. You have to find a goddamn pineapple that I still don't know where it is, fight some ghosts, go gambling. No, Selena, get that chance, she's going to gamble again. And outside the hotel, the best thing you can find is a giant shadow of a metroid that is apparently a Shining reference. Never in my life I expected to see a Stephen Monarch reference in a Mario game of all places. Alas, this is a weird timeline. Also, Sienna Beach has one of the best sunsets I've ever seen. Noki Bay is a curious case. Visual-wise, this place is magnificent. All the missions suck. The place looks incredible. It's the kind of place your rich aunt would send you a postcard from. The price was, the missions range from average to being inside of a bottle, to having to play dances for a new, to Pientismo again, the return. Fuck him. Pienta Village. As the certified birds of the show, we really like high places. And this is a village built on top of a tree, on top of a mountain. Oh, what a lovely place. We should bring Amy here. Mayhaps. I don't know why this is called a village, because there is not a single house inside. The place doesn't have much aside from an open area on top and heaps of mushroom on the under tree. But I for once think the missions here are great. Sure, Goop Inferno exists, but that's just one mission that will make me throw Gaia out of the tree. And finally, Corona Mountain. But Corona Mountain is just the most stressful boat ride I've ever had in my life. Oh my god, you're right. Okay, it's the second one. I completely forgot about that. But let's rewind the video for a little bit and go back to Pianta Village. Something I did not mention are the secret levels. Special courses that take place on a fucking pocket dimension, I guess. But the special thing about them is, you don't have flood. This is just honest to God, wah, woo, wahoo! But also a whole lot of wah, with a little bit of ba-da-ba-da-da-da-da. In theory, they are great. They are a new variety of platformer added to the game, making so things don't feel too stale, and they are also harder. The reality is, you're going to lose all your lives and have to restart this shit all over again, because on a best case scenario, you have to do a pilgrimage. On a worst case scenario, you have to find the Yoshi, you have to grab the right fruit, you have to mount the Yoshi, you have to do some precarious ass shit platformer just so you can fall in a hole and do more precarious shit platformer. Oh shit, Yoshi! This is Yoshi's 3D Mario debut. Well, kinda. This is actually a painting made by Bowser Jr. Kid, why are you making paintings of Yoshi? Are you okay? Are you lonely? Wanna play Mario Kart with us? There's no way you are worse than Gaia. Ow, you c***! So Yoshi's here, great, he can puke on things, and is the key to some of the most frustrating things on this game. Speaking of which, remember the sandbird I talked about earlier? Sunshine has some weird difficulty spikes, compared to itself and compared to 64. Most of the stars in 64 are chill, let's agree. I have no idea what it is the consensus of the worst stars you get on 64. I would say something on Hazy Maze Cave, but that's because that is Hazy Maze Cave, I still don't know how to go around that place. But on a worst case scenario, a 64 star is... fuck that? Well, I don't wanna do that, fuck! And you cannot do that because the game's not linear. Sunshine on the other hand, well, here's a durian, shove it up your nose. The Sandbird is an infamous level because it's surprisingly hard. Especially for a shine, you have to get to beat the game. And that's not even talking about the not required shines. Anyone likes pachinko? Do you? But at the very least, I think it's funny. Now we can all come together and say, man, what the fuck was up with Sunshine and the River of Death? But this does mean completing this game is hell. So let's talk completion. You cannot talk Sunshine without talking completion. I mean, you might, but I haven't seen a single soul talk about this game and not talk about the completion aspect of it. So I think they just died somehow, probably trying to complete the game. Unlike the game, I'll give you the short version. And for the uncensored version, kinda bad, eh? So let's do some math. You can get up to 11 shines on every level, up to 18 shines on Delfino Plaza, 1 on Corona Mountain, and 2 on Delfino Airstrip. But that doesn't add up to 120, does it? Where are the rest? Well, I wanted to say your butthole. But one, that is unbelievably rude, and 2, I think it would be easier to find them if they were there. This is the introduction of the blue coins that make you see red and feel a little bit purple, breathe in orange and taste green. As you can tell, they are not good. On this industry, the blue coins are normally referred as all around the plaza and the stages. You can find these c***s of the unfriendly variety. You can trade 5 of them for a star on a back alley with a raccoon. Problem A, this can be very boring. Problem B, you can go bald while doing it. There's 240 of these guys, the game does not map it, some of them are stupid, all of this translates to this is just a picture of Mario and Sonic making out. Okay, I think we're done here. Oh. So Axel always screams at me because I never talk about the music of any video game. So I'm here today to rectify that. Sunshine soundtrack is great. It has a song that goes dun 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 dun. The special courses has the remix of the Mario theme that goes da 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 da. I also really like that song that goes ba 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 ba. Sunshine has a great soundtrack, and a soundtrack that is easily associated with Sunshine, which is high praise. If you listen to a song that makes you think, oh shit, that sounds like Mario Sunshine song, that's a compliment. Okay, we're done? We're done? We're done? Gaia, we're done. You know me so well. This is why you are my right-hand bird. Oh, how nice, we complement each other. So we take this tiny little boat floating on lava. Gaia was screaming the whole way. I threw up. Selena was questioning her friendship choices. It was lovely. Jump on some clouds, find Bowser on a giant pool of green. Something. This definitely woke something on someone. Nope, I've had a thing for lizards ever since I turned 13. The fight is simple, the fight is fun, and it's also one of those boss battles that you keep expecting a second phase. Alas, we tipped the tub and everybody fell to their death because last time I checked, we were on top of a volcano. And this marks the end of the game. The piantas are dancing, Sunshine has returned, we found out Peach isn't Bowser Jr.'s mom. Okay, everybody, just like we rehearsed. Yeah, no shit! But this does mean Bowser fucked something, either that or Bowser Jr. was created in a lab. Cannot traumatize the kid. In a weird way, Sunshine almost feels like a Mario spin-off. Flood helped this feeling for me since it is a heavy gimmick that completely changes how you approach platforming. It feels like if this wasn't the sole 3D Mario on the GameCube, this would be a second or third 3D Mario that happened out of nowhere. Alas, this was the big 3D Mario of the generation. Did it do a good job? I mean, kind of, yes. You may have realized I talked a lot about 64, but can you blame me? 64 is a monumental game, it is a very influential game, some call it a revolutionizing game, and most of all, it's a game I grew up playing. I know a lot about 64, I know it like the back of my metallic robotic hand. Of course, I would compare it a lot to the one I'm familiar with, which is also the one that came first, and the more influential. And I think that's a feeling a lot of people have towards Sunshine. This was the second big 3D Mario on a brand new platform. People were expecting a lot, but Sunshine is different, and I can kinda understand why people got mad at it. But a line that came up while playing this game was, Sunshine is not a better 64, and that is a perfect way to explain this game. On a surface level, yes, Sunshine is more akin to 64 than not, but when you play it, you realize this is a completely different beast with completely different ideas. It has similarities, but it has moments of, no, I'm doing my thing. Some of these ideas might feel a little bit rushed. This wasn't even on the script, but I just remember I wanted to talk about it. Yes, this game feels rushed on some bits, because the GameCube wasn't selling well, so they had to be, okay, fine, get this thing out of here. We need to fucking sell the cube. Weirdly enough, a story that also applies to Wind Waker, another game that came out in 2002, huh? That was the year when they realized, fuck, we made a mistake. But Sunshine, it is on game. I don't think it's fair to keep comparing to 64 because it's not trying to be a complete second Mario 64. Turns out it really didn't inherit all that much from 128, huh? And when I see Sunshine trying to do its own thing, I can't help but love it more. This is the weird fuck of the 3D Marios, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And now, do I like this game more than 64 now? No fucking idea. To me it's an X2 and X1 situation. One has higher heights but also has lower lows, while the other is a far more consistent experience. But I do like fighting, so to start a war I'm going to say Sunshine is better than 64. And now I'm also thinking, how do the 3D Mario games rank amongst themselves for me? It's going to be a hard competition because next time we're going to the one place where idols cannot reach me. Space! Well, that was fun. What? Why? Gaia, are you thinking about the video after that? Figures. Well, I like the idea. So next time, join us. I will be cussing Gaia a lot. And with that, the lights are on. Don't forget to put on a show, kiddo.